Now, a language is not just a body of grammar, a set of words. And language is a reflection of culture. It's a flash of the human spirit. And of the 6,000 languages spoken on Earth, fully half of them are being taught to children, which means that effectively, unless something changes, they're dead.
What this means is that within a single generation, we may be losing fully half of humanity's intellectual, social, and spiritual legacy. This does not have to happen. These cultures are not a fundamental question. What does it mean to be human and alive? I've studied Buddhism as an anthropologist, but this is a personal journey. A journey that will lead me to the deepest lesson of Buddhist practice, behind a weathered little door in an ancient nunnery near the foot of Mount Everest, in the light at the edge of the world. How do you take a spiritual journey in Buddhism? Where do you begin? Who do you follow? The Buddha was a teacher who started this practice 2,500 years ago. In Sanskrit, Buddha means the awakened one. His teachings are known as the Dharma. They are a spiritual path, a roadmap to enlightenment. The Dharma is designed to lead us all out of samsara.
Samsara is simply an objective observation that in this world that we live in, and who can deny it, we end up slaughtering children, raping mothers, dying of foul diseases, having accidents just on the eve of our weddings. I mean, whatever all this stuff is, the Buddha would say it's a realm of samsara, and the cause of it is suffering, but the great possibility revealed by the Buddha is that it can be transcended, that if ignorance is the foundation of suffering, ignorance can be relieved.
But pursuing the Dharma doesn't just promise an end to suffering. It aims to eliminate the very causes of suffering through spiritual practice. A science of the mind that charts a roadmap to goodness, humility, and compassion. One takes refuge in the Buddha, considering him not a god, but a guide. You take refuge in the Dharma, which is not a dogma, but a path. Of all the religious traditions that I've encountered in my travels, this is the one that has always made the most sense to me. My path begins in an old Mi-17 helicopter, a shuddering Russian war relic. We lift off for a trip into the Himalayas, back to where the monasteries are. Many of the Buddhists of Nepal were once the Buddhists of Tibet before the Chinese ran them out and destroyed their temples in the 1950s. Escaping across the mountains, they came together at monasteries like Thupten Choling and Shiwang, where they are preparing right now for a great festival. As much as this is a trek into some of the most stunning country in the world, it is also for me an adventure into the mind. It's about seeing what's in there, discarding what's unnecessary, and focusing on what truly brings happiness.
There is something about the inherent tolerance of Buddhism that is incredibly attractive. It's totally non-judgmental. There is no notion of sin. There is no notion of good and evil. There is only ignorance and suffering. And this is the most important thing. It places all emphasis on compassion. You know, you do not embrace negativity. It is a religion that does not demand some kind of act of blind faith. It does not demand that you buy into the dictates of a faith and then go out and persuade the rest of the world to think like you. It is simply a system of wisdom. It's a philosophy. It says, here is a path, here is a set of contemplative practices that you can do, and that if you follow this, we have 2,500 years of empirical evidence, scientific evidence, by the very definition of what science is, that says if you follow this, you will achieve this transformation of the human heart. And that's why we use the concept Buddhist science of the mind, because the evidence of the efficacy of that practice is the serenity achieved by those who embrace it.
I can explain Buddhism in words, that's easy for me, but I'm still seeking meaning. The path to enlightenment requires basic tools, and the first one is meditation. Real meditation is said to calm the mind. The common metaphor is that the mind is like a windy lake. The waves make it impossible to see the bottom. But by stilling the waves, the water, the vision, becomes clear.
Okay. So for men's first left, okay.
Do you want me to take a watch
that's better.
The first guide on my journey is a Tibetan doctor, Sherab Barma. Sherab's medical training took 7 arduous years. 1 year was devoted purely to meditation. Even today, he leaves his practice for a month each year to return to a cave and meditate.
You relax. I need meditation.
But when Sherab does the pulse diagnosis, you know, this is, again, not a trivial, arcane exhibition. It's not sleight of hand. It's been, even by Western scientific terms, it's been recognized that the Tibetan pulse diagnosis can be extraordinarily precise. And the fascinating thing for me is that in bringing his intellectual, in a sense, medical attention to that challenge, at that moment of diagnosis, he's also bringing his entire meditative, attentive mind to that moment.
Okay, please can I see your trunk?
Within the Tibetan realm of medicine,
Please, you can look my finger.
there is no easy separation between the state of the mind, the state of the spirit, and the state of the body. They're all intricately entwined.
Okay. So you're in a good health, but I see in your eye, in your pulse readings, it's little bit your maintenance problem. This means like I think your makeup planning lots of, or your like mind work or something like that. I feel because of your heart send message, and little bit you are tired or you are not sleep well or some worried or kind of that.
So really what you're saying is that my mind is so, needs to be calmed or needs to, what are you saying?
So you need little bit rest, and if you can, this meditation is important.
Sherab sees that my mind is swirling and my thoughts are ragged. I need to